What's the dose your boy Stats coming at you with my first One Piece theory?
Every good theory starts off with a question. And my question is, when did the winged people leave the moon and go to the blue planet? Now, when you read through the manga, you'll find out at the very least it would be 800 years because the Shandorians were protecting a poneglyph at this time. Now, if you go back 900 years, that would be at the beginning of the Void Century, and if you go back 1,000 years, that would be 100 years before the Void Century began. So, if you speculate that they were a part of the Void Century and had time to settle into the blue planet before the Void Century, 1,000 years is a safe bet, and that's what I'm gonna go with. It could be more or less, but most likely more. After speculating the time that they came to the blue planet, the next question that I have for you is, where were they before the blue planet? Now, I'm not talking about the moon because they were on the moon for a while until they depleted all its resources. But where were they at before the moon? For the answer to this, we must go way back to the Punk Hazard arc in chapter 685. This is where we get our first glimpse of the globe of a planet with one vertical ring. Now, this is in the laboratory in Caesar's base, which is actually Vegapunk's old laboratory. We know Vegapunk was working here 4 years ago. I believe this globe is Vegapunk's. Vegapunk is from the future country Baltimore on Katakuri Island. The first time we see Katakuri Island is in Enel's cover story, chapter 451. Here we meet Professor Tsukimi, a elongated head man with Aduma or Adumana. I'm not quite sure how it's pronounced, but in order for the professor to have Adamata, he must have been to the moon or have connections with the winged people. I believe Dr. Vegapunk is Dr. Tsukimi or a member of the elongated head people's son. And he is either an elongated head man or half, depending on his mother. The reason the future country is so advanced is because the elongated head people are from the planet with one vertical ring. This circles back to my question, where were the winged people before the blue planet and blue moon? The answer to that would be the planet with one vertical ring. The winged people they initially depleted the moon of resources, and then after that came to the blue planet. The Skypeans and the Birkins created sky islands to dwell in, and the Shandorians inhabited an island on the Blue Sea. When looking at Enel's cover story, we don't see any people with elongated heads on the drawings in the ancient city on the moon. So we know that they were most likely not with any of the winged people. So that leads me to believe that the elongated people either came before or after the winged people, not with them. As far as we know, the elongated head people split into two groups. One group created the weather island of Weatheria, where Nami was at during her pre-time skip stuff, and the other made the future city on Katakuri Island, because these are the only two times on the blue planet that we see elongated people. It's perfectly logical to assume that they are connected.
If you made it to the end of my first theory video, thank you very much. Please like, comment, subscribe, check out Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, all that stuff, man. It should be down below. Hey, thank you. You're the one.